Hi everyone, my name is Tamar Elena, and we are live here on Curtain Call, which is our weekly interview series featuring women in the arts. They can be on stage, they can be off stage, and today we are featuring Karen Burke. She is a gospel prof at York University, among other things, which we're going to find out about today. And, hi Tata, how are you? We're interviewing a professor today at York University. Her name is Karen Burke. She sings gospel and jazz, and she just has a new position also right now. And we're going to bring her on immediately. So her name is Karen Burke. Hey, Karen, I see you. Here we are, about to go live. Just bear with us for 1 second. There you are. Yeah.
I got it.
Karen.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I haven't done anything yet. But
No, thank you for showing me how to get in. That's my
anytime.
Yes. All right.
Here for your Instagram needs, Karen. Hi.
All right.
Welcome. We're here with Karen Burke, the one and only. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Yes, me too.
How are you doing?
I am great. I am great. I am in the land of the living. It's a sunny day, and it's close to Friday. So what more can you ask for?
Good thing. What is your day for you? What does it look like for you on a Thursday? Do you teach?
Wow. Well, I'm finding now with this new role as the chair of the department.
All the way. We'll get back to
Yes. Okay. I won't get. Is that my schedule is different. So it's kind of like get up in the morning and look at my emails and go, okay, what do I have to do today? You know, there's always things that got to be tracked, and I really want to be present for them. And I just finding it a really cool journey, just, helping people have a great day.
Can't go wrong with that. Helping people have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. So I guess there's probably also fires to put out and whatnot. But
oh yeah. Okay. That's all part of it, right? my new phrase is all will be well.
All will be well. I agree with that. All will be well. So I started by saying this. So can you tell us what your new role? Well, what was your old? Oh my God, where do we start? I have so many questions at this all at the same time. So tell us first, I guess, because you already dropped the bomb. What is your new role at York University?
Yes, so the last 17 years I've been teaching in the music department, and that is definitely a story. But just this past 3 months, maybe, I've been working in the capacity of the chair of the music department, which I understand. Yes, I understand that I might be the first Black female person, maybe ever, to do this in the country. I am. That's what. So I'm just like, okay. Whatever.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
On all the levels. That's really, let's tell the world.
There you go.
Okay, I'm really going to send, I mentioned Nikki Lawrence to you before. I'm going to send this to her right now to see if she's around, because I really think she's great. And Misha, you know Misha Bruger-Grossman?
Yes, I do.
I want her here right now.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows who I am, but I know she is.
You never know. You never know with Misha. I'm watching you. Yeah. No, she's awesome. She's a good friend of mine. So maybe she's around and she can come say hi. I just sent it to her. But okay, congratulations. So what does that entail, being the chair of the music department?
I think that at this juncture, coming out of the pandemic, it's really helping to focus, give us a laser focus. And we're really at a time where we're not returning to status quo. You can't. It's 3 years since students had what we would call a normal, right? So those students, a lot of them are almost graduated. So we have to look at the future and understand we have students that have a different set of needs, and they're coming out of an area that no one has ever had before. So we have to really meet them. So in my mind, I like to think of them as my clients, because they really have a specific set of needs, and I feel responsible to help our team continue to focus on what those needs are, so that we can get the best out of them and they can have the best experience possible, right? So I enjoy that. But I think my life experience has positioned me for this type of, position at this you know, at a time such as this, as they say. Yeah, yeah.
What's specific that you've noticed about students that they might need now that maybe they didn't need before?
Wow. There has obviously been a lot of isolation. There has been a lot of loss, and that's not just familial loss, but loss of identity, loss of sometimes had to let go of things, plans that they were doing, whether it was job or career. And many of them are feeling a little bit disconnected, and especially if they're in music. Can you imagine those of us who are in the music industry were feeling a loss of things that we knew about, their perception of what they were looking for. They didn't even know what they were, and now it's like a double whammy. Well, how do I even move forward? So it's providing that, that space for them to reconnect, and also to be connected, I'm hopeful, with mentors and people that can look back with compassion and remember what it was like to be just starting out, right? Yeah.
Crazy to think that you're receiving all the high school students that just went through the pandemic.
Yeah,
like,
this is it. I mean, and so many of them suffered from their music programs either being completely stopped or greatly limited, right? And so they're really, they're coming out of a very unusual time. This is an extremely important and yet exciting juncture to be a music educator, especially at the post-secondary, because we have an opportunity to, to reinterpret their foundation, if you will, and remind them of the pursuits and why they're choosing this path in life. So it's good. It's lovely to come alongside them.
I mean, at the risk of talking too much about this position, but I'm just really honestly interested, like what can you do, or what can like the university, or what can we as a society do to like kind of lessen that, I don't know, feeling of isolation that they've had? Like, what's the first thing you would do, like bringing them in September to make them feel back?
Well, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to have an all music student assembly, like, good old fashioned days when we get everybody together. We are the world, kind of stuff. I mean, it's just important that we recognize that we're not just on this journey, but we're on this journey together. And that as a community, we can face many, many things. And often, students are coming, they might be the first one in their family to attend university. They may be, a new Canadian or second generation, whatever. And so that establishing community is job one. And I really want everyone comes in the door, whether they're a new teacher or a new student, to feel that what they're bringing is of value. And that, just the fact that they're there, they've made it, is like a major accomplishment, and let's move to the next one together with support, right? So I don't know. I just want them to feel optimistic, because so much of what's been, privy to this, or previous to this, has been a lot of doom and gloom, right? So we need to turn that narrative around.
Enough of that.
Yeah, let's go.
Now that you obvious thing, I can like, how come I didn't think about that? Obviously, the opposite of isolation is to bring everyone together into an assembly. Like, obviously, there's nothing else you could possibly do. That is the answer. As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, amazing. Yes. Oh, yeah. I also that assembly. That's a lot of musicians in one room. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, and just to even know, that we're there, like, because it's been, again, even though there's been this sort of hybrid back and forth. I can't think of a time when we've all been in the same place at the same time. And, some of them will still be on the beach somewhere, but I want to get to the ones that are that are eager beaver and ready to go, that first week, and we'll have a great time. Yeah. Yeah.
Ones on the beach are doing, don't worry about them.
I don't worry about them. They're going to find their way.
All right. 17 years at York. Did you just say that?
Yeah.
We're going to work. Normally I start at the beginning, but since we started at the end, why not? We'll come full circle at the very end of the conversation and touch on this again. Also, for those of you just to know who you're talking to, this is Karen Burke. She's the new chair of music at York, but also, involved in many things. Has done many recordings, has sung gospel. We're going to get into that. Gospel, jazz, many, many things. So she has many hats. And I'm Tamar Elena, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm your host today. This is a weekly series called Curtain Call that focuses on women in the arts on and off stage. So you said 17 years, that's a long time. Yeah. 17 years. What have you been doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I should preface that by saying, for 12 years prior to that, I was a high school music teacher. And so that was, definitely prepping me for this. And I think I would have stayed I loved my job and I loved my students, and I was having a great time, and I went a lot of support. That particular program, when I arrived, there was something there. And my first year, there was 12 students in the choir that I started. You know how you'd put out the little call and a few people show up. 12. 11 girls and 1 guy for that. But by the time I left 12 years later, we had a choir of 200. And so, yeah. And we had a, orchestra and jazz band, and, the list goes on. So I had a great time, got great support. But then York came a calling. And I remember saying to my principal, I'm going to go for the interview, but, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And then when I came back, I said, remember when I told you not to worry? I said, you need to start worrying. But he was extremely supportive. And it was so funny. I was thinking back to my interview at York. Okay, so this is 2005. And they said to me, so what will you be doing in 10 years? I said, I'll be leading the department. I'll be chair of the department. And I'm thinking, I was so cheeky. What did I say that for? But I think I was being quite facetious at the time. But look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Look what you called into the universe, Karen. Anyway, I think that I've always I've been a person, I think, that's, even though I'm not a person that sort of toots my own horn, my mom taught me at an early age, just put your head down, do the work, and let other people promote you. And that's really been the journey of my life. I haven't gone to any, like, after anything. Most it's people coming to me. I think you could do this. And then I step into it, And so that's basically the story of my life. And I have been so appreciative for those people that have opened doors for me, which is why, I like to look back and do the same thing for other people. But I recall that my colleague who was teaching part-time at York brought me the post, and they were wanting to start a gospel music course, like gospel choir. And he said, I think you could do this, because by that time I'd already been doing the Toronto Mass Choir, which is a gospel choir that's been touring and recording now for 33 years. Yeah, but at that time, however long it was, he said, I think you could do this. And I'm like, oh no, I don't think I could. He said, no, you should, you should apply. But so I did. And yeah, I got hired. And so then it was like, this opening was so amazing, because anybody who's been involved with education knows it's a more than 24/7 job. Like, you're constantly dealing not just with marking and things. If you're at the elementary school or public school, you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with, all those, it's just ongoing. And I was tired. It's very, very much takes up a lot of your energy. But when you move into this post-secondary, it gives me a higher purview, if you will. And so now, instead of just being at one school, I can go to visit a lot of schools, right? I can go and do workshops, more often. And I'm doing workshops for not just schools, but I do them like an insurance company, or for, for the boards of education or whatever. And I'm also able to provide open doors for other people, So that when I consider myself a person with their foot in the door, holding it open, so that others can come in. And I've been seeing this happen, not just at York, but also people, for example, who are interested in teaching or learning more about gospel music. They've also been able to go now out into other universities, and it's starting at other universities as well. So that's what I'm excited about, that the work is, the legacy, the work is being established and recognized and replicated. And really, what else are we here for, right? We're not here to just do something and then die. We have to impact people. We have to provide opportunities and pathways for others to come and make their impact and their story, live out their story. And I've seen it happen. So often we do work and we don't actually see the impact of it, but I've been very grateful to already be seeing others being able to get work and to be, work at other universities and teaching in schools. Students that I've taught here at York that are going on to teach music at other schools, their students coming back to York. Hey, my teacher used to be in your choir. They wanted me to join, that kind of stuff. So I feel like a grandma all the way around. And yeah, it's just a joy. It's really, really a joy.
I want to read some of these comments, but you said Joy. Now Joy says, beautiful person inside and out. Joy Raymer. Hi, Joy.
Oh, Joy Raymer. Hi, Joy. She knew me way back when, before I was even a teacher. Yeah.
Oh, and Stacy Love is giving you lots of hearts, and wow.
Hey.
Mom says hi from Portugal, Oporto.
Ooh, nice.
Just letting you know. I don't know.
There.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for you. Feel free to ask questions or send comments, and I'll get to them for sure. But so when you do workshops, you say you do a lot of workshops. What are you talking about? Like singing workshops, gospel workshops? Tell us.
Yeah. I'm often asked to come, and especially if you can imagine over the last couple of years, as people are trying to sort of land on the right side of history and learn more about Black music, right, and how to do it authentically and all of that. So I love it. I've been doing workshops in schools for probably 30 years now, and but I do workshops for just about every arena you could think of, whether it's at universities, or it could be for an arts organization or other community choirs, wherever. People just ask me to come, and I enjoy it so much, because once people get in the same room with gospel music, even the people that say I can't sing. I mean, I just heard from a woman the other day. People have been telling her for years that she can't sing. And she came to my workshop on Tuesday, and she said, I feel so good. I was singing, and I was having a great time. And I was like, that's exactly right. That's how gospel music works. It's a community building genre, right? And so once you put people and gospel music in the same space, amazing things always happen. And I see it again and again and again. And if anybody out there has been to one of my workshops, holler at me, because I know I've been doing it so long that I know some of y'all are doing it. Some of you guys have been in my classes too. So thank you for being there.
Want to anywhere sing gospel? Or is it like it has to be a certain time or place or a certain person, or is it open to anybody?
Open to anybody. Open to anybody. In fact, we do. Toronto Mass Choir does this major gospel music workshop every year in February. We've been doing it for now. This will be our 19th season coming up. And it's open to anyone. And we offer over 25 different workshops and all kind of things: songwriting, vocal, dance, whatever, keys, whatever. And it's held at York University. And and so people come and they just have an amazing time. And it's really for people who are just interested in gospel music, but they don't have to know about it. They don't have to be steeped in it. They don't have to be even a musician. They come and they learn, and that's the whole point of it. So yeah.
I feel like that about flowing. Come. It's open. It's community. Come and learn.
Yes. And I should say the name of it is Power Up. And if they want to find out more about it, the website is powerupgospel.ca. Power Up Gospel, all together. Powerupgospel.ca. Yeah.
Powerupgospel.ca.
It happens in February every year. So this next year it will be February 23rd. Yeah, I think that's it. 23rd to the 26th. Right. So looking forward. It's always a highlight of our season. The Toronto Mass Choir, we work very hard. We are a charitable organization, a small group, but we work hard to make sure that everybody that comes has an awesome, awesome time.
Nice. Oh, maybe I'll come if I'm around in February.
You go.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another question. Dinah asked, since you said that in your interview, your York music interview, that you said in 10 years you'd be leading the department. So what are you going to be doing now in 10 years? Obviously, that's my next question.
My word. Listen, I hope I'm retired in 10 years. At least I don't... and retired doesn't mean, sitting on some beach. I don't, that's not my desire. But I think just being able to travel and, do more things abroad, if you will. I really enjoy that. The Toronto Mass Choir has been able to tour to, I think, 11 different countries. And I do workshops in other countries. I've been to Poland 6 times and things like that. So I like doing that. That's really cool. Being able to, and also to see what's happening in gospel music around the world. Oh my goodness. Like people think it's just a North American thing, but Oh no, it's doing very well in other countries. So that's fun. I love to write. I think probably before anything else, I'm a songwriter. So I want to continue to write. I love to write for choirs. When people are trying to figure out gospel music, give them something that's kind of a gateway into it. So it's not, doesn't seem so mysterious. Um, and maybe just, hang out with my grandkids, something like that. That would be great.
You kind of, my mom, you want to like retire so you can do more work.
Yeah, that's what my husband says. Why you just want to put your foot up, go to Jamaica and, I just said, I don't know. I just didn't feel like me. I visit, but I too much. And I just, there's a lot of, there are not a lot of us that are doing the work that I do. In Canada, certainly I could count them on one hand, the number of Black academics in music at the post-secondary level, hardly any. And so if we want to have this cycle replicated, you have to be able to see it. You have to be able to see it's possible. And I had one Black woman professor at McMaster, and I would never have become a choral conductor if it wasn't for seeing her. I never would have, because choral conducting is basically not a non-white space, I shall say. It's very, very not always, you don't see us there. Let me put it that way. So for me, I had to see it. And she opened my eyes to it, and she mentored me very specifically. And I owe her a great debt. She died early, so she never got to see my sort of step into the professional mainstream, but she did get me my first job. So that was something I will always remember, that you have to see it to know that you can do it.
Yeah, totally. What's her name?
Her name is Denise Narcisse Mayer, and sadly she passed away in the late 90s, but she not only mentored me, but she at the same time she was mentoring Brainerd Blyden Taylor, who is the founder and director of the Nathaniel Dett Chorale, which is the only chorale of its kind in the country who focuses on Afrocentric music. And so the two of us were mentored by her, and I'm sure she impacted others, but being Black and being in classical music, which was quite unusual at the time, the two of us really garnered from her presence and her belief in us and being able to move out. It was, and as a Black woman, she imparted a lot to me too about being in the space, not just as a woman, but as a Black woman. And that in itself has its own, its own story. Mm-hmm.
Many stories that I can't even imagine, but you're welcome to share whatever you like. And
yeah, no, I think it's just, like my roots in Canada, my family's roots go back on both sides, my mom and my dad's sides, back to the 1840s. So we were here, our families were here, and teaching and preaching and, making music. And so, I have a lot of famous musicians in my family tree, a lot of very impactful firsts. Like my mom was the first Black elementary school teacher in Brantford. My dad was the first Black high school teacher in Brantford. So we have a lot of firsts. I mean, if you're around and long enough, you're going to be the first to do something, right? So, but I think because we were, I think that it's a very unique position to be in, because I mean, I don't have another culture to fall back on, if you know what I mean. People ask me, if I go someplace, they say, bring your native dish. I bring macaroni and cheese or pancakes and syrup, or you know what I mean? Like that, it's mine. That is my culture, right? And so I bring my knowledge of what it is to be a Canadian, what it is to be a Canadian, what do they call us? Afro-Canadians, who stand out in our field, not always because, we're the first at it, but we have to be the best. We have to be the best. If we want to get noticed, we're going to have to work hard and be there. So that kind of work ethic was instilled early on from my family, my parents, and also the importance of education, right? And making sure too that you are an ally and you seek allies. And I love the fact that as I said before, there's been people that have opened doors for me, and I call those people the allies that I've had in my life, that have they're not, and they weren't Black. Okay, so there were people that decided that they wanted to move me forward, and I'll be forever grateful. Many of them are still alive, and even I can call them today and say, "Hey, I need this or what's it," and they'll be right there to say, "Okay, do this, do that, do that." And that's, everybody needs that. So I want to be like that to somebody, and I think all of us who have made it to any station in life, we owe it. We owe it to others and to ourselves to make sure that we're bringing people along behind us.
I love it. I mean, that's why this whole platform exists, basically, right?
There you go.
Try and basically help, in that regard, just be there, be whoever has something to, whoever we can be there for, really. I don't know. I don't want to limit by describing who we're there for. We're trying to be there for whoever needs it, right?
That's right.
And just, yeah. So I'm so glad you're saying these things. Thank you. So hold on. I just want to go back for a second. 1840s. That's crazy. So where's here? Where did your family come to? Brantford?
Yes. So on my dad's side, the first person that came his name was Andrew Lucas, and he was apparently he rode bodyguard with Stonewall Jackson, the president, and then that he escaped and came to the Niagara region, and he's on record as being like the oldest dead Canadian. Like apparently he was died when he was 120, and so from him there came this line of people that included my grandmother, and reaches down to me. And so, and my dad's family, they were sort of by national. So he grew up, he had 13 brothers and sisters, and say half of them were like, say, in the States, and half of them were here in Brantford. So that was my dad's side. And then my mom's side of the family, so the Coopers, the Drakes, they came to North Buxton, which was a Black settlement. It was the largest Black settlement in the 1840s, and it's right near like Chatham and like at Windsor area. Yeah. And so if you go there to that community to North Buxton, you would see like a picture of my great grandfather, who was like pastor, the big bishop there, and a grave site of many of my relatives, and even the church that I grew up in was named after my great grandfather in Brantford. So we have this sort of long line, and because both of my parents come from those, that makes me a little bit like a unicorn. So yeah, I'm not even a half of anything. Like I'm married, my husband's Jamaican, and it's truly a mixed marriage. Like our backgrounds and our bringing up and everything totally different. So yeah, so it's kind of cool, and he's always saying to me, like I'm always saying to him, "Oh, I wish I had a back like I had a national food, and I want to be cool like you." And he'll say, "But at least you can go back 6 generations and talk about your ancestors." I don't even know my grandparents' names. so it's really cool to have that legacy and to be able to have that to tackle on. And I think what it also does, because so often people will want to dismiss you because of your race, maybe underestimate you, maybe feel like you're not familiar with things, or you need, whatever. But that's never been my case. I feel quite confident. I know who I am. I know, where my people are at. I know this country. I know I'm very confident in my skill set. So I don't shrink when I'm in a space. I know I can own that space. And I recognize, because I've been here a long time, that there are people with very small minds, and that will never change. But you cannot define yourself by what others think of you. You have to have something you bring to the table that you know who you is. Right?
Just want you to repeat all of that again so I can listen to it. I guess I can go back. Hey, that's true. Well, so many I mean, that was about the food dish. I feel like that a lot too. But it's have a food dish. Let's be honest. It's not you or me. It's like, come on, Canada, step it up. We got to make a dish. There's all these cultures. People always ask when I travel, like, what's Canada's like national dish? I'm like, oh God, like syrup. I don't know.
I know. And our national dress is blue jeans, right? I mean, like that's it.
same with our national music. Like we're not there yet, as a nation. Like we gotta. I think like in 500 or 1,000 years, it'd be so cool to check back in and be like, all right, now what's the national dish and what's the
Yeah.
national? By then
Yeah.
maybe like to like actually make something that's like representative. But anyway, we're not, we'll get there. We'll get there.
There we go.
Wow. So, I mean, I know you have a hard stop in about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna keep going. But thank you for telling all of that history. That's incredible. I really do wanna put you in touch with Nikki Lawrence because she also works a lot with people in Niagara specifically region, and she's
Oh,
research and history on like the first blacks there, and like
wow.
she spent years, like 7 years, I think, researching this show that she does about
Okay.
really. She's fascinating. Yeah.
That we're probably related. So we're probably related.
I guess you'll find. I want to be there for that conversation. That'll be fascinating. Yeah, I'll hook you up after. But so I guess did you get into gospel music just by? This is what I wanted to ask you. Like, how
Yeah.
did you start that?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, as you can imagine, it didn't start with me. So the music tradition that I'm blessed to be able to be a recipient of is something that was passed down to me, right? And so I was playing, beside my grandmother on the piano. She was on the organ through all my formative years. I started, I think, when I was 12, and not till I came to Toronto, so maybe 10 years later. So, I got sort of the incubation of
right.
musical tradition in the church that I was in, and in fact, not just the church, but the fact that the Black community in Brantford was quite small, and it was probably the only place at that time where there was a gathering. There was a place that people could gather. So it would be the only place that I would see other Black people, and most of them were my family members. So honestly, I didn't have a Black friend until I came to university.
Wow.
No, I hadn't. The first time I ate a patty when I went out on a date with my husband, and that was in Toronto. I was like in my 20s. Yeah. So, very different kind of growing up than maybe people, your listeners who are in Toronto, which is very multicultural. When I was coming up, things were quite the different.
How
Yes.
strongly did you notice, or did you care? Like, how was that? Like,
Oh yeah, no, we noticed, of course. In fact, when my dad would have us come to visit my, like relatives, or go to, I don't know, the CNE or whatever. I can always remember that drive in and Jarvis, the first exit off of coming into Toronto, and we'd start looking on the street and we go, oh, there's one. Oh, there's another one. And we're pointing out Black people. Like it's like, it was amazing to see. And so we'd be always excited to go to some place like Toronto where you were sure to see some other people that look like you. But that was a big deal. It's a huge deal. So, and I think I loved coming to Toronto because I didn't want to be, I no longer was content with being the Black girl. Oh, you got, yeah, you need something. Yeah, that Black girl over there, she can give it, right? But now when I came to Toronto, I get to be the girl in the blue coat. I get to be, just everybody else. And so while Brantford was and continues to play a central place in my family's history, it was good and timely for me to continue my journey in a multicultural center like Toronto. And if you ever look at the Toronto Mass Choir, for example, it looks like Toronto. We have everybody in the gospel choir that they're coming from all kind of different backgrounds, and I love it that way.
I'll have to come. I have to come.
You can find it. tmc.ca. You can find us. It's so easy.
Guys, check it out. Empowerupgospel.ca. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Follow on Instagram because she's getting into it.
I'm getting better. I even got better today.
Live. Go follow her right now. Oh my God. Got lots on there. Oh my God. Okay, so in our last few minutes, is there anything that it went by very fast. You're so awesome to talk to you. But is there anything that you want to get across, that you want to say that I missed asking, that you really want to, talk about? Or
well, I don't know. I think I just want to, as a woman, I want to say, for those that are younger, maybe not even younger, but you're just trying to find your place, right? Know that place is yours. Your gift will make room for you. That's one of my favorite sayings. And to know that when you live in that, when you live in that and you move out in that, people think that you know something, they just step aside. You have to know, but you have to believe it for yourself. So, and then also I would say find mentors, so that you can see possibilities, and that you can replicate that for somebody else, because you know what it feels like, right? And I would say for that, and of course my faith in God, those things have really kept me moving in a straight pathway. My career path has not been straight, by no means, but my purpose has always been straight. And I think it's a gift. It really has been a gift. Yeah. And thank you for doing what you're doing. I think it's amazing. You're so good at it.
So I guess I have like one or maybe two max questions, but definitely like coming back to the beginning, like that you've become chair, and they're bringing everyone together, the assembly in the fall, and all these things. Like I guess if there were one, I don't know, this is going to be like kind of an annoying hard question to answer, but is if there were like one sort of impact you wanted to leave on the students, on the department at York University in your time there, what do you think that would be? Answer is valid.
It's only a 3-year appointment, so I'm thinking to myself, my first year is all about just staying alive, learning all the acronyms and staying alive. That's job. But I think being able to be part of the journey of like a resurgence, a reconnection, as I was talking before with students, and almost a rebranding, if you will, of York, in the sense of, we have an opportunity here, because there's this 2-year lull with everybody trying to scramble and find their place again. The game has shifted. And so, we have a really a cool opportunity. I think the other thing that I want to bring up is that, I've been involved with gospel music education, which is a very rare and new academic field. When I started, there was nobody teaching this, and there was no programs, there was no courses at the post-secondary level. And now we have 4 courses at York, not all taught by me. That's great. And then there's also, gospel courses that have started in other universities like U of T, like Humber, I think there's one that's going to be starting out in, well, I won't say because they're going to be starting, and I don't want to give away the cookies. But I just love the fact that it's not just epicenter, but it's kind of going out. And so gospel music is alive and well in Canada. I want to make sure people know that. We have a great recording industry. It's very akin to the jazz community, right? The jazz community is such that it has a loyal following. And if you're in the community, you know where to find the concerts, and everybody knows everybody. That's pretty much exactly the same as it is for the gospel music community, And there's actually some amazing artists, recordings, concerts that people don't hardly know about unless you're kind of get in there. So part of what I'm trying to do is to get it out of the shadows, and let people know that, yes, it's very vibrant. It's happening here. It's accessible. It's very, great musicians. You mentioned that, Joy, so her husband, Larnell, of course, came out of this community, and he continues to he's played on my recordings. So there's a lot of also synergy between the jazz and gospel communities. So those kind of things are things that people don't often know. And until my dying breath, I want to make sure that people know that that these things exist, and that they have, they can access it. And gospel music has been very, very good to me. So I want to pass it along, pass it along.
Besides right now, in case I'm just going to drop that there in case you want to sing us something. Zero pressure.
Tyler, now. My daughter came on. Hi, Jana. Anyway. Okay. And I saw Johnny Nixon on there too. Johnny is a great guitarist. He's been playing for me for like over 20 years, and he's in Brantford. So hey, Johnny. He calls me boss lady, but I don't know why, because I'm not. Yeah, but anyway, yes. So many amazing people. I'm going to say this. I'm a songwriter, and if you really want to hear me sing well, because it wouldn't come across on here, go check out Toronto Mass Choir. tmc.ca. We have a shop. You can buy, and almost every record I'm singing something on there somewhere, but we also have a plethora. Let me use that big up epidemic
I like
word.
that word.
We have a plethora of not just PA, but in other parts of Canada that are doing great work. And so I really want to pick them up. We've been so blessed with great singers, soloists, musicians on our recordings and other gospel recordings. But I'll big up Toronto Mass Choir since I got the Instagram now. But just to say that the choir, it's been around for 33 years. We've probably had 300-400 people that have come through the choir over those 33 years. So it's been a joy. So I just want people to know, as much as we can amplify. We don't have a jazz radio station like Jazz FM 91 that can, play our music all day long, but maybe one day.
Sure. Challenge the people listening to go create a gospel radio station.
There you go. That'd be nice. That would...
On TMC and go buy some albums and support the artists. Yeah, I agree. Cool.
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. So much, Karen. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congrats on your new position. I can't wait to talk to you in a few months and see how it's going.
Thank you. And I'll let people know too that Toronto Mass Choir is working on a new album, which we hope to drop in June. And it's a hymns recording, taking it back because a lot of people are reminiscent for those tried and true songs, but we have to put a gospel spin on them, of course, right? And so so that's sort of like our big project this year, besides Power Up, of course, in February. But I'm trying to think what else. My grandkids, love my little my grandson. Life is good. Life is great.
I think that's a great place to live. Life is great.
Yes, it is. And Friday too. Yay! No, it's not. But it feels like Friday because I'm feeling good today. There you go.
I mean, yeah, it's like double Friday.
Double Friday. There you go. Yeah.
Everyone for joining.
Weekend, right? It's a long weekend. Yeah, so everybody's gone tomorrow. Nobody's coming into work tomorrow. Stay home.
Sarah says stay home, guys. All right. Thank you so much, Karen. It's so beautiful to talk to you. I really appreciate it.
It's very. Thank you so much for the invitation, and for all the beautiful people out there. Go have yourself a fine day.
Karen. Bye, everybody. Have a good.
Bye. Bye.